right, everyone, time to rise and shine on this Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. Well, gosh, you saw in that show open there, those sunrise shots are amazing. This is really the best part of the day, isn't it, Thomas? When we get that sunrise, it is just like golden hour of the morning.
Yeah, 4:51 in the morning.
Wow.
That sun is up. And it's going to be that all week long, by the way. But I also like these hours of the morning because usually isn't that blisteringly hot outside, and we know that in the summertime that'll be to our advantage for the most part. But you are going to notice that it is a fair bit humid outside right now. I know most everybody likes to look at the relative humidity, but this number is more important, the dew point. When that is higher, it is just outright more humid. When it's above 60, then it is very humid for our region, but anything in the 50s is certainly noticeable for us. So the dew points are in the upper 50s right now. That has kept current temperatures in the 60s, and it will be a pretty warm and humid day today. Another one in the mid to upper 80s with some low 90s in central Washington, but the changes come tonight. Wind advisories for central Washington, wind gusts up to 50 to 55 miles per hour there. We are going to experience some quite blustery winds ourselves in Spokane, even though we are not under the advisory, but that will knock down those temperatures significantly for the rest of the week.
We do have some breaking news this morning out of Denver, where police there say that 10 people, including a gunman, were shot overnight. Now, this shooting happened just 3 hours after the Denver Nuggets won their first NBA championship. We know right now that 3 of those people are in critical condition. The rest are believed to have non-life-threatening injuries. Now, police have not said whether or not this shooting is connected to any of the celebrations that happened after the game, but they do say that the suspect fired a gun during a fight involving several people. This morning, we are continuing to track this breaking news, and as we learn more, we'll keep you updated here on Up with KREM and KREM.com.
This morning, a person is in a hospital with potentially life-threatening injuries after being hit by a driver of a car while they were walking on North Division Street. So this happened between Francis Avenue and Lincoln Road on Division. First responders tried to save the person at the scene. Overnight, we checked in and learned the person is still in critical condition. Our team is making phone calls this morning to get the latest on their condition. Spokane police say the driver is cooperating and they do not believe alcohol was involved.
Well, Spokane City Council members are declaring an emergency and passing a new ordinance. This ordinance gives the police ombudsman the authority to investigate complaints against the police chief, not just officers. Until last night, that authority was reserved for the mayor and the Human Resources Department. But Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward declined to investigate allegations of misconduct by Spokane Police Chief Craig Meidel. At the council meeting, Councilman Michael Cathcart raised some concerns that the new ordinance could jeopardize the ombudsman's main purpose.
The problem is, again, that ombudsman has to have a working relationship with the chief in the code, several times stated, for that to work expeditiously, appropriately, accurately, for there really to be a good outcome at all if you want folks being held accountable.
Cathcart ultimately voted to pass the ordinance along with 5 other council members. Now, to be clear, the passing of this ordinance does not mean that an investigation will be launched. That decision, though, is now up to the ombudsman.
An update this morning in the Moscow murders case. The man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students has requested more time to provide his alibi. Brian Kohberger's attorney says they need more time to go through all of the evidence given to them by the prosecution. The suspect's public defender says they have 51 terabytes of information to comb through, and that includes thousands of photographs and gigabytes of electronic phone records and much more. Well, this morning, family and friends are continuing to grieve the loss of a Spokane family found dead in an overturned car in the Salmon River.
The car slid off of Highway 95 near Riggins and into the river, killing 3 children and their father. This morning, we're learning more about the victims. The 2 younger children were students in the Riverside School District. On social media, the children's mother says that one of her final memories with her kids was looking at portraits of the Riverside High School graduates. She said, quote, "I happily told them that would be them one day. They'll never get that chance, so deserved," end quote. Now, this tragedy, of course, rocked the nearby town of Riggins, Idaho.
Now the community says their focus is centered on safety. And as Andrew Bartline reports, locals say the highway is missing some key safety measures.
It's one of those things that once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. Riggins, It's kind of a fishing town,
Salmon fishing.
and it's Michael Reinhardt's destination of choice.
Oh yeah, it's good fishing, real good fishing.
But not an easy one to get to.
It can be quite taxing, especially on your eyes. And fall asleep, you'll go right off the canyon.
By way of Highway 95, you'll notice the details on the way here, too. At least,
Being the passenger, I'm nervous constantly
Shelley and Rick do.
through here.
And that's not to say there aren't guardrails on 95. I'm looking at one right now, just a mile or so north of Riggins. But if you take 95 north just a little bit further, that guardrail now is completely gone, within a mile of where we were before. And the road's still windy, and the river's right there.
I always dread driving along the river because of the guardrail situation or the lack of. It just seems really random where they're placed.
It's not the big sign welcoming you to town.
They call it rigging because there's so many rocks, you're gonna have to keep rigging up your reel.
But you'll notice it all the same.
You know, they only got so much money to take care of the freeways around here, so.
Reporting from Riggins, Andrew Bartline, KREM 2 News.
New this morning, the Idaho Transportation Department sent a statement to us regarding the lack of guardrails. A spokesperson said, quote, ITD takes many factors into consideration when deciding where to install guardrails, including crash history, speeds, geography, and road design standards. In the last 5 years, there were 6 total crashes on this specific stretch of US 95, with 2 suspected minor injuries and 0 fatalities.
It is 6:07 right now. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. Today, the Washington Department of Transportation is inviting everyone to the groundbreaking of the Spokane River Crossing Project. It starts at 10 a.m. and the ceremony will be on the south end of construction near North Ralph Street and East Marietta. People are encouraged to attend and even ask questions about the North Spokane corridor and other projects, as WashDOT staff will be on site. This morning, the Bonner County Sheriff's Office is still searching for answers regarding a homicide that happened last Friday. 86-year-old Larry Johnson's body was found inside his home in Bottle Bay. After investigating, officials determined it was in fact a homicide. The actual cause and manner of death, though, have not been released. If you have any information, please contact the Bonner County Dispatch at the number there on your screen. Well, Washington State is getting more than $370 million in money from opioid settlement distributions. $35.6 million of that will go to Spokane County. The rest will go to other local governments around the state to help with opioid mediation. The Adams County Sheriff's Office arrested a 58-year-old man after he allegedly shot at power facilities in Hell's Canyon corridor. Randy Vale was arrested on Friday. He is now facing felony charges in 2 counties. Deputies say Vale shot at Idaho Power equipment, causing several power bumps in the area. And that's a look at your morning rush.
Well, this morning, mild and humid across the inland northwest, with a lot of area temperatures still in the low to mid 60s. But the difference between today and tomorrow is going to be stark. So let's look at our hour-by-hour forecast for today. Very similar to yesterday, temperatures climbing well into the 80s, even by the noon hour today. And we could see a chance for a shower or thunderstorm with a cold front later on this evening, probably most likely at around 6 o'clock or a little bit thereafter. But that cold front is going to knock down temperatures pretty significantly for tomorrow. We'll still be in the 70s for central Washington, but only mid 60s for highs between Spokane and Pullman, and could be even colder yet over North Idaho.
Work is getting underway to clean up the site of the now former homeless camp along I-90.
WashDOT says the property was officially vacated by the last person on Thursday night, so now the process begins to restore the property to bring it back to its former state. And this will include removing the fencing and the security guard shack that was put up to increase safety in the neighborhood. KREM 2 confirmed that the state will be taking soil samples at the camp to see if any removal will be done, and all of that will take place over the next 2 weeks. We also learned that increased SPD patrols will continue in that area in the meantime. That property is ultimately going to become the site of the north-south freeway on-ramp to I-90, although groundbreaking on that project won't get started for several more years.
Meanwhile, Spokane Valley has been awarded nearly $4 million in COVID recovery funds to combat homelessness. The City Council unanimously awarded those American Rescue Plan dollars to 5 nonprofits. The funding will now go to a new young adult shelter facility, 2 sober transitional houses, and affordable housing programs in the valley.